No group in America has been more harmed by Hillary Clinton's policies than African Americans. No group. No group. If Hillary Clinton's goal was to inflict pain on the African American community, she could not have done a better job. It's a disgrace. Tonight, I'm asking for the vote of every single African American citizen in this country who wants to see a better future. Look how much African American communities have suffered under Democratic control. To those I say the following: what do you have to lose by trying something new like Trump? What do you have to lose? I say it again, what do you have to lose? Look, what do you have to lose? You're living in poverty, your schools are no good, you have no jobs, 58% of your youth is unemployed. What the hell do you have to lose? I say it again, what do you have to lose? Look, what do you have to lose? You're living in poverty, your schools are no good, you have no jobs, 58% of your youth is unemployed. What the hell do you have to lose?
You know, there's one city that don't play. Everybody know about that Grand National.
The last day of school, they left it how it is. You ain't gonna find too much people that's not from the hood moving to that hood.
I've been in this wheelchair, bro, for like damn near, I'm gonna say about 5 months.
Little Baghdad, that's what we call it. Get that bullet hole on there. This like one of the worst zip codes on the west side.
If we all outside and the police pull up, we can make the police turn.
You hear that? That's gunshots, bro. We in the hood.
You see how big our elementary school is? They, you know what I'm saying, they abandoned that whole building. The last day of school, they left it how it is. So the school, how it is, like when it closed, you got the basketball hoop court up in there, markers, chalkboards, you got everything like it is. When they closed the schools and the high schools.
Native American. I mean it, especially those moments, and especially those moments when this campaign was at its lowest ebb. The African American community stood up again for me. You've always had my back, and I'll have yours. You've always had my back,
Got him!
and I'll have yours.
Got him!
You've always had my back, and I'll have yours.
Got him! Got him!
Elementary school. You see how big our elementary schools is, they, you know what I'm saying, they abandoned that whole building. The last day of school, they left it how it is. So the school, how it is, like when it closed, you got the basketball hoop court up in there, markers, chalkboards, you got everything like it is. When they closed the schools and the high schools.
Ready?
1, 2, 3, testing. 1, 2, 3, testing. One, two, three. Ready? Let's go. The topic: Black people continue loyalty to the Democratic Party. The question: why do you think blacks have such a loyalty to this demon rat party? Think about that for a minute. For over 50 years, blacks have such a loyalty to a party that does zero for them. Wait a minute, let me see now. Let me get my thoughts together. Well, let me say this first. Greetings from the east, the north, the south, and this wicked-ass west. We're about to get into this topic. I am your host. I am the one. Now wait, I'm gonna let the music continue to play until I hear a thought in my mind. And that thought's gonna hit me, it's gonna say, the one, stop the music. Until until that time comes. Stop the music.
Okay. Topic of the day. Why do you think black people have such a loyalty to this demon rat party? Over 50 years of getting nothing in return for your vote. Zero. But matter of fact, let me start out by saying this. I got some video off of hoodvlogs.com. Matter of fact, I got it off of YouTube. So that's youtube.com. And it's called Hood, H-O-D-D, Vlog, V-L-O-G-S. I got video off of there from a young man from, I think that's someplace in Michigan near, I don't quite know. But I got some video. If you see the opening video, that's where I got that video from. So let me make sure I give him a shout out. It's called Hood Vlogs. And I got it off of YouTube. So it's Hood Vlogs, youtube.com. All right. I wanted to make sure I said that because that's where I got the opening. I mean, I got the video from the brothers that was discussing what was happening in their part of town. So now let me get back into it. For over 50 years, black people have had a loyalty to the Democratic Party, full of promises. Every year, the Democratic Party will tell you what they're going to do for you, but yet they never do it. They will tell you, just as Martin Luther King said back in the 60s, they'll use an excuse. They'll say, well, just wait a little longer. We're gonna take care of it. But they never do. This man, if you look over his history from the natives that was already here, he made promise after promise after promise, but he never delivered. And eventually, I think they used the term, you talk with a double tongue or something like that. In other words, this man is just a flat out liar. They'll take your vote, but they will give you nothing in return. As a matter of fact, when President Obama was in office, and the brothers will talk to me, they'll say, well, I'll say, well, Obama never did one thing for black people. And I remember a brother so clearly, he said, you didn't ask for anything. But they asked for my vote. You asked me for something, I'm asking you for something. I mean, after all, you don't have to ask a person that's in trouble, that's in dire straits, can you help me? When you see a person laid out on the street, you don't say, you didn't ask me for help. If they're stretched out, blood leaking all through their body, at least, most people are scary, so at least you'll call 911. You don't have to ask for help when you need help. It would be nice, but you don't have to. Obama, he was in Chicago, and he knew the plight of black people. This guy is not a stupid man. He's extremely smart, and his wife, extremely smart. So he knew black people were in trouble. But he chose to overlook it because of the fact that when you're in the pocket of corporations and you know after you come out of office, you can live extremely well. Maybe he went in with 1.3 million, and who knows now? I don't know the numbers exactly, but he's probably worth 20, 30 million. Who knows? You do the research. I'll say this in every video. You have a cell phone, you have a computer, you can easily look it up. So if my numbers are off, you can say, hey, his numbers is off. The one's numbers are off, so you can easily look it up. But I'm pretty sure if he went in the office of president, he came out with a whole lot more money. Because the fact that he know that if you watch my back, I'll watch yours. Now, when Joe Biden says something like that, he's just lying. That's one of those cliches he'll use simply to get the vote. And when he get in office, he will do not one thing. One of the things that Joe Biden did when he first got in office is he signed a Asian hate crime bill for Asians. Oh, it was story after story after story. Black people, they use us again as a scapegoat. Black people are attacking Asians. Now, I didn't realize that we hated Asians, me being a black man. I had no idea. Matter of fact, I work around Asians. I had no idea we hated them until the mainstream media told us we hated Asians. And any typical black person, I've been black all my life, okay? Any typical black person will use a stereotype. I better not mess with him. He may know karate or kung fu. So for the most part, we'll just, okay, he may know karate, so I'm going to walk around him. But somehow, the mainstream media says we hate Asians and we're attacking them. So they got a hate crime bill passed. And it didn't take no time to get it passed. I'm going to give you a couple statistics. Now, I like to shout out Philip Scott because I get a lot of information off his show. And so I looked it up. The most hated group in the country, black people already know this, is the black man and the black woman. That's a fact. So I looked at the statistics. Hate crimes committed against, and it's listed by race. Now, if you look at these statistics, FBI statistics, you will see that there's nobody even close to black people. When it comes down to hate crimes, there's not a group of people even close. But Joe Biden and Kamala Harris, and I may be pronouncing her name wrong, somehow pushed this Asian hate crime bill through. But the most hated people, the most being affected by hate crimes in this country, we got no hate crime bill. Wow. How is it possible that Asians get a hate crime bill and they're not even second on the list? You want to hear something else? They're not even third on the list. What I'm saying by they're not third on the list is that if you look at the group of people affected by hate crimes, Asians are not 1, 2, or 3. So how do you get a hate crime bill and you're not 1, 2, or 3 on the list? Wow. But remember now, your president, Joe Biden, he said, the African American community always had my back and I will have yours. Liar. Flat out liar. What else did he do? Let's talk about the topic of reparations. They have no money for black lineage-based reparations. They don't have money for that. Now, they're fighting a war in Ukraine. And to this date, my numbers may be wrong, but like I said, you got a computer, look it up. At one point, it was like $43.3 billion that the Ukrainians received. It was, I think, $43.3 billion. And at my last, I read an article, it said over $100 billion. I believe that's pretty much more accurate than the $43 billion. Mind you, we got no money for reparations. What they'll tell you is, "Oh, don't worry about it. Just hold on. We're working on it. We're going to do a study. We're going to do a test run. We're going to make sure we get the numbers right. We're going to analyze it. We're going to get some of our super duper smart people, and we're going to get them to analyze the whole situation and then crunch the numbers and divide it by 2, carry a 1, add 3. And then we're going to come up with some type of documentation. And then we're going to submit it to certain groups, or we're going to go up the chain. It may take 6, 7, 8 years, but we're going to get it up there now. You blacks, you don't worry. Just keep voting for us. But we're going to get it up the chain. Maybe, let's just say 15, 20 years down the line, we'll pretty much have it squared away. Now, these same people, when it come down to the Ukrainians, they got that money right away. Wow, out the door. The money is in the hands of the Ukrainians. And the big bad America war machine is making money hand over fist. But reparations, that's the no-no for you blacks. Here's another one. We have a water situation, contaminated water. If you can remember the story back in Jackson, Mississippi, they have a water problem. They have no money to fix it. Mind you now, Ukrainians don't vote for a president over here in America. Americans vote for the president in America. But yet, you cater to people that don't even vote for you. And this talking point I got from Philip Scott, I want to make sure you know that. So, they don't vote over here for the president, but the president have their ear. Think about that for a minute. Somehow they get money and they don't even vote. There's a story, I think I mentioned Flint, Michigan, and there's another place in Arkansas. I think it's Helena, Arkansas. I wrote it on this paper, but I can't spell, but that's what it says. They have a water situation. And let me just rename these places. Jackson, Mississippi, Flint, Michigan, as you know, and I think Helena, Arkansas. One of the common denominators in these 3 places is they are heavily populated with, guess who? Black people, you already know. But for them folks, heavily populated with black people. I don't have no money. It's the same as reparations. Well, we don't have no money for that. But you spend over $100 billion over in a war in Ukraine. Wow. Let me make my next point. Having loyalty to a party, the Demon Rat Party, that year after year after year, they give you a bunch of false, broken promises. They'll give you a promise every year, and they never fulfill it. I remember Kimberly, whatever her name is, Kamala Harris. I don't like that lady. But the point is, she made it a point that she do not do anything for one group of people. Because I think one of the questions was, what will you do for black people? And she made it clear. She said, hey, I don't do things for one group of people. Now, you signed a bill for Asians, anti-Asian hate bill. You did that. You did it for the Asians. And then you got this LGPL, whatever the homosexual thing is. They got all those letters. I don't remember them. But the point is, you do something individually for them. But somehow when it comes to black people, you cannot do something individually for black people. I wonder why. Because when you get out of office, you're going to have a lot of money, Miss Harris. I don't want to mess your name up no more. You're going to have a lot of money. So somebody's going to do something individually for you the corporations, I'm saying somebody, we both know the corporations will do something for you. All you have to do is stick with their agenda. And you're going to do it because you're going to be rich. So you stick to the agenda, you get paid. And you'll tell us every year, well, we can't do anything for you. Now, Ice Cube, he's making his tours. And he's making a point. He's saying, hey, we want something in return. Now, somehow, the Democratic media is, he's being castigated by the media. Because he's saying, hey, matter of fact, he made the statement, I think, 4 years ago before the election. He said, I want to hear from both parties. And I want to make a decision based on both parties. Because the Democrats has been making promises for years, and they never fulfilled one. And I'm going to make this statement. Black people, well, a lot of black people, especially females, are so much against Donald Trump. Now, I'd like to make it clear. I have nothing against Donald Trump that I don't have against Joe Biden. I think they're two in the same. But the reason why men like Donald Trump, including myself, and I'm saying I like him in a way that he speaks clear. He speaks so clear. He don't talk behind your back. If he don't like you, he'll say, I don't like you. Men like that. Men really men respect that. Let's put it that way. So I have no disrespect for Donald Trump whatsoever. He speaks exactly what he means. If he don't like you, he'll just say it. How can you hate that? I mean, as a man anyway, how can you hate that? I don't think I'm going to vote this election. I don't think I will, because either way, the black man and black woman, we lose. But if I do vote, if I get an inkling to vote, I will vote for Donald Trump. And if you don't like me for it, who cares? Black people, if you don't like me for it, who cares? I don't care. Our communities, like he said, is tore up. He said, what do you have to lose? He's not wrong when he said that. Now, maybe you don't like the way he said it, but we got nothing to lose. We're going to lose anyway. Our faith must be in the Most High God. That's our only hope. But if we want to come down to earth between Donald Trump, if, he runs and, he's in all this trouble right now. So if he runs and if Joe Biden survives and he runs, if I had to vote, I'll vote for, of course, Donald Trump. Call me names if you want to. They call me names every day of my life. I don't care what you call me. Let me read my final point here. Qualified immunity. That's the one that black people really want. And I don't quite understand qualified immunity for law enforcement. But what I'm thinking it means is you can be sued. You can be liable if you commit a crime. Now, mostly in the case of qualified immunity, you got crooked judges, crooked lawyers. So when they take the thing to court, this brother know what I'm talking about. It'll come up no charge. So therefore, they'll be safe. Now, what black people wanted is, hey, get rid of their qualified immunity. So maybe they'll think twice before they decide to abuse a person. But these same Democrats, they said, no, we're not going to get rid of that. Why? If you want the violence against black people to stop, why not get rid of their qualified immunity? Have them be subjected to true law enforcement. If the law is good enough for one person, it's good enough for even law enforcers. Black people wanted that. What did Joe Biden say about that? Well, we're gonna have to. We're gonna discuss this. We're gonna look at it. We're gonna look at it closely. You know how they talk. They dance with words, and they're good with words. So they'll use words and he'll talk 15, 20 minutes. And if you look over that 15 and 20 minutes, they haven't said not one word. They haven't said a thing. And people in the audience just, yay! He said something. But in reality, he didn't say one thing. That's a fact. So if we want to continue to go down this road with the Democratic Party, fine. Brothers and sisters, if you want to go down that road, fine. You're not going to get anything. You go on and on and on, just waiting, just hoping. Maybe they'll change this year. They're not. You got the election coming up next year. Today is about, I don't know, I think August 7, 2023. So we got another year and then some months, to decide who you're going to vote for. Personally, I don't believe I'm going to vote. But the Democratic Party and their false promises, year in and year out, and they got their spokespeople that will try to entice you into voting for the Democratic Party. They're not going to do anything for you. Of course, with Donald Trump, they say, oh, look at big bad Donald Trump. You're going back into slavery. Brothers and sisters, look at your neighborhoods. I'm not talking about the brothers that live in brothers and sisters that live in a decent neighborhood. But look at even if you do or you do not live in a decent neighborhood, you're still a target. You could be real successful and you will be profiled. I mean, certain people, they don't know who you are. You may be a big-time lawyer or even a football player or basketball player. They only see one thing. And then when they realize who you are, maybe they'll back off. But in reality, it's the same. And for the most part, you can't keep doing the same thing over and over and over and expect things to change. I mean, it's just not going to work that way. I'm going to have a couple of people again debating this topic. I think I got a total of 4 videos up. I got 14 views. So I'm really moving up. But until that time comes, I'm going to get people over here and we're going to talk. We're going to discuss it. Eventually down the line, I'm pretty sure I'll have a lot of views eventually. But I would like to know what you think. Will you continue to vote for the Democratic Party? Do you want anything? Maybe you don't want anything. You should want something, but maybe you don't. I think if you give your vote, you should expect something in return. Something for loyalty. Loyalty means something. If you don't think you deserve anything for being loyal to a party that really hate you 100%, but you sort of hoping, you saying, well, maybe they'll finally change. But come on, 2024, they haven't made any changes. They haven't did anything to ease the pain that blacks go through in this country. They have did zero to ease the pain. Qualified immunity, okay, at least let's look into that. Let's try to take some of their pain away. Let's try to make things fair. I didn't say equal. I said fair. Let's try to make things fair. Nope. Reparations, let's try to make right a wrong. You think they're going to do that? No, we're not going to even do that. But then again, they still want your vote. So, I suggest you think before you vote for any Democratic person. Matter of fact, I think you should look at the issues. And when you look at the issues, and then you decide who you're going to vote for. But loyalty to a party that don't like you, it's not wise. So, let me know what you think. I'm up out of here. I am your host. I am the one. And by the way, I got some of my information from, let me just tell you one more time. Okay. Hood vlog. Let me see. Hold on for a minute. Yeah. Hood vlog. That's from YouTube.com. I got this. The brothers that was on a video. I got it from Hood Vlogs, YouTube.com. That's where I get the information from. Where the brothers was in the hood. I want to make sure I let you know that because he was the one that did that video. I took a couple clippings from it. I'm out of here.